This video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. This video is brought to you by First Detachment Nutrition, battle-tested nutrition, expert formulated supplements. Use code AB10 at checkout for 10% off. Hey guys, it's Big Paul here with an update. It's week 2 of my rebound phase. Things are going really well. I felt great this week. I was kicking ass in the gym. Things are just moving along. I don't know what else to say. I love the rebound phase. I'll say it. I've said it a million times. I don't know why people stop training, stop taking their gear, and just eat like assholes during the rebound phase. This is the greatest training of the year. You make the most progress. I mean, I'm blowing up right now, and I feel great. And we're going to dig into all of it in just 1 second. All right, so my vitals this week, everything's kind of settling back down. It was a little rough last week. Not as rough as it was last year post-show. It took me a solid month last year to feel right after my show. I was pretty buried. I overdid the contest prep last year. I was just in such a fatigue hole. It took me forever to just dig out of it. I feel pretty good right now, all things considered. My fasted weight was, this morning was 248. I am up 13 pounds from my stage weight and 10 pounds in the last week. I blew up this past week. I'm holding a little water. You'll see in the pictures, not too terrible. I'm definitely starting to get the cankles, the swollen ankles. I've had a few guys ask me about that, if that's normal post-show. It just happens. Your electrolytes are all over the place from the diet and water depletion, and then you're eating different foods and more foods, and and it's just you end up you're not using anti-estrogens like you were at the end of prep, and then you just end up holding some water. My blood pressure did drop. It was a little high last week. My blood pressure and my pulse both were high. Probably just from the water. I mean, my pulse during the day was just sitting in the high 80s, low 90s. It was it gets like that. It's a little disconcerting, but it usually settles back down. It dropped back down this week, and so did my blood pressure. It was 124/75, I think, when I measured it recently. Last week, it was about 10 points higher than that post-show. I don't know what it would have been without the telmisartan. Fasted glucose, I mentioned last week that I was having some glucose control issues related to electrolyte imbalance post-show. That has also settled down as well. My fasted glucose was down to like 103, 102. Not perfect, but better. It's getting closer to being in line, and I expect probably by next week it'll be in line. I've been eating a shit ton of food, so, that could be it too, and I may need a little more Lantus to keep up with it. But my electrolytes and glucose seem to be in a much better place now. Sleep's been kind of all over the place. It's been up and down, sort of shitty. I think a lot of it's because my sleep apnea has returned. It goes away on prep, and then it just comes raging back as soon as I start gaining any sort of weight again. It just is almost. I wake myself up snoring and choking on my breath. Training has been fucking fantastic. My strength has been rocketing up. I have to remind myself after show, and I think that a lot of guys end up with tears and injuries after show because their strength comes back so quick. But as you know, I don't train to failure. It's tempting to go, just full bore, full volume, past failure right now because I feel so damn good. But I have been following the plan, and I have been slowly ratcheting up the volume. I am not anywhere near my full volume. Probably here in the next 2 weeks I will be. Not next week, but I need 1 more week to ramp it up to full volume. I've been increasing weights, though. I have been pushing the weights up a bit because the stuff just feels light. I'm already stronger than I was at the end of last offseason, which is crazy. I don't think I lost any muscle on prep. That's a first for me. I usually have problems where I lose muscle on prep. Not this year. But Justin kept me fed, and I think we took a smarter approach. I mostly did steady state cardio, and I didn't do a shit ton of cardio. I think I was smarter with the diet and with the PEDs and with the fatigue management. I was much smarter with fatigue management this year. So here's progress pics. This is what I look like right now. You can see this was fasted yesterday. Yes. My tan is faded off. I'm pretty white now, but you can still see my abs. My legs are pretty veiny. I'm still pretty lean. I'm holding a little bit of water. You can see my, around my ankles a little bit. There's a little bit of water. Although I'm still, Justin says he thinks I'm pretty dry, but for me, I don't hold a lot of water usually. I have a pretty dry body. But I'm holding a little bit of water. You can see it in my lower back. It's not fat. It's just water and loose skin. Same thing with my hamstrings. You can see them kind of washed out. A little bit of water there and a little bit of water in my abdomen, but still pretty lean. And yeah, you can see how full I'm getting. I felt like my fucking triceps were going to explode the other day. You can see how full they are. I mean, they're crazy full right now. Diet, he didn't change anything from the diet last week, so what we're doing right now, low day is 300 grams of protein, 360 grams of carbs, 60 grams of fat. This is added fat. I say this every week. My clients get confused by this one. This is not counting the fat that's in the carbs and in the protein sources, although we try to keep the protein sources as low fat as possible. I mostly just eat chicken breast. I want to specify that, not chicken thighs, chicken breast, cod, and I'll do some 96 lean ground beef. I have been eating flank steak here and there. I don't know. I've been on a flank steak kick lately. It just tasted so good at the end of prep. I've been eating it like about every other day. Instead of the 96, it's not as lean as the 96% lean beef, but it's pretty lean overall. So that's low day. I do one low day a week. That's a non-training day. Medium days, any training day that isn't a high day right now. Which is 3 days a week, I do a medium day. Total is 310 grams of protein, 575 grams of carbs on my medium days. I know that's a lot of carbs. And 40 grams of added fat. My added fat, I try to keep my added fats to EFAs. That added fat is usually olive oil, almond butter, and almonds primarily are what I use for my added fats. That's pretty much it. My carbs, I really only eat rice, and I'll have one serving of oats per day. I've had clients ask me about that. Anything more than one serving of oats per day, my stomach gets wacky. I just don't think you can handle more than that, especially with the volume of food I'm eating. So the rest of my carbs are just rice and cream of rice. When I'm eating a ton of carbs, I can't do potatoes either. They're too filling. I just can't eat that many potatoes. And then my high day is 250 grams of protein, 910 grams of carbs. That last meal is usually a cheat meal. He lets me have a cheat meal. So I'm doing 3 cheat meals a week right now. I've been very good with the diet. I've been following the diet to the T. I've been trying to treat the Rebound diet like contest prep. I've been following it to a T. And 0 added fat. So we try to keep the fat as close to 0 on that day, except for the cheat meal at the end of the day. And I'm running insulin with meals 1, 3, and 5. I'm running a little bit of Humalog. And so, 910 grams of carbs, 250 grams of protein, as I mentioned. Protein sources on that day, I usually don't do any red meat. I keep it light since I'm eating a shit ton of carbs. I just do chicken breasts and cod. That's it. Carb sources, half those carbs can come from sugar. I don't do half of them from sugar. I probably do 40% from sugar. Mostly it's jam for me, a Captain Crunch. I love my Captain Crunch. I don't know why. It's the 5-year-old in me likes Captain Crunch. I usually have one serving of Captain Crunch with the Crunch Berries. That's the only way to do Captain Crunches with Crunch Berries. So I'll do the Captain Crunch with Crunch Berries. Apple pie filling, I'll put it on my rice. And, jam, I'll do 2 meals with cream of rice and I'll put jam on it. And then orange juice. I'll have a meal with orange juice for my simple carbs, along with my rice. Current PEDs, I've outlined this before. I'm doing 175 milligrams of test every other day, 100 milligrams of MPP every other day. I am slowly ramping down the AI. I'm probably going to come off completely off the AI next week. At 6.125 milligrams of exemestane every other day, 10 milligrams of tamoxifen for every other day. I'll probably leave the tamoxifen in because nandrolone tends to... I have a little bit of gyno in my right pec. I've had surgery twice, as you guys know. There's still a little junk in my right pec that just didn't get out for whatever reason, and it flares up when I use nandrolone. 6 units of GH every day, 1,000 milligrams of metformin before bed, 1,500 milligrams of berberine per day. I've had people ask me how I do the berberine. I split it up, 500 milligrams meal 1, 3, and 5, so it's evenly spaced throughout the day. The human log on high days is needed. Right now I'm just running 5 units, probably meals 1, 3, and 5. And I am taking Lantus every day before bed. I've upped it to 20 units. And people ask me, why do I take it before bed? And Lantus is a basal insulin. It's a background insulin. So it's not like you would not want to take Humalog before bed. You might not wake up. But Lantus is a basal insulin. It runs in the background. It's a background insulin, and it stays in your system for 24 hours. And you take it at night to help cope with... it's not truly 24 hours. I think it's active for about 20 or 21, something like that. But they claim it's 24 hours. But studies I've read, it's closer to 20. I take it before bed to deal with fasted glucose. My fasted glucose tends to be high. Also taking my metformin, 1,000 milligrams of metformin before bed. The fat burners were tapering down. I'm just down to like the last little bit of it. I should be completely off of these by next week. Rebound cycle plans. You can see how I have it laid out here. It's going to be an 8-week rebound, tapering down into a 6-week cruise, which would be around 250 milligrams of test. So really, it's like 6 weeks at about half of what I was running at the end of my prep. I was running around 2 grams of gear at the end of my prep, and I'm down to around a gram, a little less than a gram on the rebound, and then I'll taper it down into 250 milligrams cruise. People don't believe me, but of course it's only a 6-week cruise, but I've cruised for 3-4 months on 250 milligrams of test and held on all my size. Strength disappears a little bit, hardness disappears a little bit, but I've held on all the size. I think the reason why people think they lose everything when they come off is because they take shit stuff like Anadrol and D-ball, and really the weight is not muscle, it's just bloat. So it's not real weight. It's just bloat, and that's why people lose all that weight when they take shit drugs and they come off. It's just drug weight, which is just water retention. It's not real contractile tissue. Health and recovery. I'm feeling more normal this week. Last week I was definitely a little off from the electrolyte imbalance I had going on. I am taking QRF and Renal Assist from First Detachment Nutrition. That's their liver support and their kidney support product. I have a discount code for that. It's AB10 if you want to go to firstdetachmentnutrition.com and pick up some for yourself. It's 10% off with the discount code AB10. I have a link in the video description if you want to get some for yourself. I really like, they have some really cool cycle support products, which I haven't seen other supplement companies do. It's a really smart thing for them to do. I'm thinking about getting a CPAP. I mentioned that my sleep apnea is bad. I had one before and I fucking sold it because I couldn't sleep with the goddamn thing on, but it was a full face one. It was years. I've had CPAP. I've had sleep apnea even before I started back up on gear. It's been a problem, but I think it's really fucking bad right now. It's like really messing my sleep up. I need to deal with it. So I think I'm going to get another CPAP, try one of the over the nose ones, see how it goes. We'll see. I've never been able to keep one of those goddamn things on all night long. They just drive me nuts because I toss and turn. Training volume. Training's going great, as I mentioned. I feel like Superman in the gym right now. Same split I've always been doing: push legs pull off. Rep scheme, nothing to failure. As you guys know, I don't train to failure anymore. I haven't in years. 10 to 12 reps on all compound movements. 15 reps on isolations right now. It is really a modified Renaissance periodization style program I based off of just kind of a protocol I put together after reading Dr. Mike Israeltel's book, which I strongly suggest reading. Cardio right now is just 15 minutes of HIIT 3 times per week. I'll be honest with you. I'm kind of slacking on the cardio. I'm going to amusement park all day long tomorrow, so I figure I'll be walking around enough to do my week's worth of cardio in one day. Coach's feedback, he said, just continue to eat. We're going to be aggressive with the food and aggressive with the off season. He said, I'm still pretty lean. So he said, pound the food. And I'm just following the diet and doing the 3 cheat meals per week. They've been some robust cheat meals. I had one tonight, went to Texas Roadhouse. I had 11-ounce sirloin, a baked potato. And I dumped a bowl of their chili on the potato. And then I had a piece of apple pie for dessert. That was my cheat meal. It's a pretty typical cheat meal for me right now. When I get more settled into the off season, I'll do something like that, but without the dessert. I skip the dessert because it's kind of unproductive, but I'm just dealing with cravings right now. Plans and thoughts. I mentioned this before. I'm doing my plan is to do, if everything goes well and my health holds up, Masters Nationals next year in July. I'm going to try to put on another 10 to 15 pounds of muscle. I will do a 20-week off-season size blast to get prepared for that after my rebound and cruise phase. I am going to be more aggressive with the gear this fall. I'll put a thing up on my projected cycle, but I'm going to do 3 6-week blocks with deloads in between, and I think I'm going to run test highest amount of primobolan. Then I'll do some tests, and then I'll do a little bit of nandrolone with it, and we'll see where the doses go. I'm just going to kind of work my way up over a 20-week period of time. That's the way I do. I taper up. And I'll put a video up soon on it, kind of on just my outline and thoughts on it. Anyway, guys, that's all I got. That's where I'm at this week. Things are going along well. Thank you for watching. For coaching or consultations, head over to www.anabolicbodybuilding.com to book your spot today. I can help you with optimizing hormones, fat loss, muscle gain, physique, athletic performance, nutrition, and health. For more information, shoot me an email at bigp3rd@gmail.com.